legal status. The Biden administration wants to use the IRS to help fund the president's expansive social programs bill. They want the agency to track down $7 trillion in unpaid taxes to fund the legislation. The goal is to make wealthy Americans and businesses pay up if they have avoided paying their taxes. In order to find the funds, the administration wants banks to give more customer information to the IRS, especially if the account holder makes more than $600 worth of deposits or withdrawals annually. But that low dollar amount has many bank customers worried. For more, I'd like to bring in CBS News Money Watch reporter Irina Ivanova. Irina, welcome. Great to have you with us. So tell us a little bit more about this proposal and how it would work exactly.
Thanks, Tanya. So currently, if you're a person with a bank account, the bank will send information every year to the IRS. It tells the IRS how much interest you earned in that account. And under this new proposal, the bank would report a little bit more information. It would report how much money was deposited into the account and how much money went out. And that's really it. As a taxpayer, you wouldn't be required to do any additional work. You wouldn't be required to fill out any new forms or justify any new information. This is not creating a new tax. This is, according to the IRS, better enforcing the tax laws that are already on the books by reporting a little bit more information about money coming into and out of bank accounts.
So if the Biden administration's plan then is to crack down on the wealthiest Americans and businesses, which is, many Americans would say, legitimate targets, right? Everybody should be paying the taxes that they're supposed to be paying. Why then start at such a low number? And then who would this policy really affect?
That's a great point. And that number is very much a moving target. We have heard that Democrats in Congress are negotiating. That number is likely to go up. $10,000 is a number that's been mentioned frequently as a cutoff for the minimum amount of flows you'd be required to report. And it's also a number that tax professionals have suggested to me. It's sort of in line with other IRS requirements. Now, the reason they initially put the number so low is to screen out any inactive accounts that aren't really being used. So if you think about, if you start a bank account for your kid and it has a couple $100s in there just sitting there, not doing anything, that doesn't really get pulled into the reporting program. The argument that the Treasury has given against setting that figure too high is that if you have a really high cutoff, it makes it easier to evade taxes. A lot of people do have multiple banking accounts. So if you imagine a cutoff at, say, $50,000, it would be pretty easy for a lot of people to put a little bit of money into each account and avoid reporting altogether.
Good point. I didn't think of that. So, Irina, what are the privacy concerns here? Are there any? And what kind of power would this give the IRS?
That's right. So the American Bankers Association and a lot of other financial institutions have come out against this and have said this is a data security risk. And what I've heard from regular folks is they are concerned that this will mean all kinds of new money getting taxed that isn't previously taxed. There are a lot of fears that this will catch people over small amounts of unreported income, like Christmas money or birthday money. One tax pro told me that, the view is the IRS thinks you're guilty until proven innocent. And so there is this real fear over giving any additional information. Now, I spoke with a senior Treasury official this morning who said that none of those things are true. They said that the Biden administration has committed not to increase audits on people earning less than $400,000. Secretary Yellen spoke with CBS News yesterday and used the example of somebody who reports $10,000 in income for a year, but they have $3 million coming into and out of accounts. So that should give you an idea of really the amount of funds that we're talking about. The reality, however, is there are some people who don't report taxes on income. There are folks who run all cash businesses. There may be folks who have a lot of offshore accounts and who at some point will put some money in their U.S. bank account. And it is very easy to not report income if nobody is giving the IRS this information.
Right. But so it makes it hard, though, to argue against this, because essentially the argument is, well, there are a lot of people that have figured out a lot of good ways to not pay their taxes, and this might mess them up. I mean, I can't quite figure out what the argument is for, right? What is the argument that, we shouldn't make people pay their taxes if they've figured out a good system that works for them?
That's a great point, Tanya. A lot of the discussion has been around this small business person, around somebody who is trying their best, who is trying to be honest and paying their taxes, and they potentially have all this new information handed over to the IRS. Again, that's really not what I've heard from the Treasury that they intend to do. And we should point out that the IRS already has the ability to get very detailed information about people's bank accounts. If they are considering auditing someone, or if they are auditing somebody, they can request bank records and they will get them. But that's a process that takes time, that takes effort. And so this proposal would just sort of automate that and give the IRS information that it's already legally entitled to. And the reality is,
that's a good point.
Who has a job. Go ahead, Tanya.
Right, that's a good point. Anyone who gets paid, who has a salary, who makes income, that's already information that the IRS is entitled to have, correct?
That's right. You took the words right out of my mouth. And the statistics show that, for folks who have this, what's called third-party reporting, for folks who have wages, for folks who do gig work, that information is already given to the IRS, and those are not the folks who cheat on their taxes. Compliance is over 90%, for those people. Where the non-compliance is for people who the IRS doesn't know where their money is coming from and doesn't know how much money they have, doesn't know where it is. And so this proposal is really intended to give a little bit more information to sort of pinpoint that enforcement a little bit better toward the top 1%.
Got it. All right. Well, Irina Ivanova, thank you so much for joining us and explaining this. It's not going to be implemented yet, but this new suggestion, correct? This is part of how the Biden administration plans to fund the two big spending bills going through Congress, correct?
That's correct. It's a proposal. It's being debated in Congress. Probably lots of changes, TBD.
Right. All right. Irina Ivanova, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Americans receiving Social Security benefits will soon see the largest increase in their checks in 40 years. The Social Security Administration announced